Hello, everyone at the Skillman Church. We have a great surprise for you. As we've been talking about for these many weeks now, we have these 28-day challenges. There's a scripture reading challenge, there's a prayer challenge, there's the movement challenge, and we also have the reset challenge, the 28-day reset challenge. And I know there's a lot of people that are interested in this. A lot of people have been asking me, and so I thought that I would take you directly to the source because, like I had said, for this one in particular, we had to talk to someone, an expert in the field when it comes to these kind of things. And so we have on the line with us a one and only a functional medicine dietitian, Taylor Stolte. And Taylor, thank you so much. Nice to meet you. And thank you for your willingness to help us out along this journey. But we kind of want to ask some questions about what it is. Before we get into the reset, tell us a little bit about who you are, your background, and who is Taylor Stolte?
Thanks so much for the kind words. Before I get into who I am, I'm so excited to do this. I was really excited when you reached out. I'm glad the timing worked out. So I'm just super excited about this project. But I am a registered dietitian, and if you guys haven't heard of functional medicine before, it differs from conventional medicine in that we're looking at the person as a whole. It's like a functioning organism. So not only are we looking at how things function together in the body, but it's also super important to not only think about like the physical aspects, but also spiritual and emotional. So when you came to me with this project, it's something that I've thought about so many times because I have some clients who are very hyper-focused on like the physical piece, or there may be some people who are hyper-focused on like the mental, emotional, spiritual, but it's so important to have both. And I feel like this is like the perfect combination of the two. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. I practice at a functional medicine clinic called Carpathia Collaborative. I own my own practice, but I kind of practice under their roof. So I see clients a variety of ages, men and women. I specialize in gut health and hormones, but I see kind of everything under the sun.
So. I love it. And I love the name of your company. It's Plate and Canvas, right?
Yes.
Is there a story behind like the significance between plate and canvas and the name behind your company?
Yeah, if you go to my website, you can read about it in detail. But for me, I got into functional medicine because of my own personal health issues. And at first I sought out conventional medicine doctors and it wasn't very helpful to me. And then I discovered functional medicine and it was extremely helpful. When I was at my sickest, it was just a very dark time. And as I healed, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well, my life just brightened up in a lot of ways. I've always been very into art. And so for me, I kind of saw in my mind this picture of a very dark painting, and slowly there was just brighter and brighter shades of color that were being added to that canvas over time. So that's it in a nutshell, but it's kind of a picture of my story.
Yeah. And for this, you were really helping us out here with this 28-day reset, and we made the announcement, and several people came to me and said, "Hey, I'm so excited about this. Tell me, what is a reset?" And I was like, "This is going to be awesome. It's going to change your life." It is, and I didn't quite know what to say about it. And so, again, wanted to talk to the source. What is a reset, and what are the goals of it, and why do people participate in things like this?
Yeah. So it's something that is very approachable for anybody. So this isn't something that is extremely restrictive or complicated or hard to understand, but it's taking a step back and looking at basic health principles. I'll share my screen in a bit and kind of show you what things look like week to week and what to expect. But every day is going to be different, and throughout the course of 28 days, we're removing certain things that are maybe not life-giving, whether it's something food-wise, or it's maybe even something like a distraction. I talk about social media and ways to have boundaries around that, apps you can download to help you create boundaries if you need some assistance. So all aspects of health. And then also filling us up with things that are very nourishing. So I not only talk about, things that you may want to scale back on, but also things to like fill your life up with. So like the benefits of movement and how to intuitively exercise, certain foods that are really helpful to include in the diet. So the diet's kind of shifting throughout this process. I do like a pantry clean out and a fridge clean out on how to do that, how to grocery shop to kind of prepare for the last 9 to 10 days where the diet is kind of set in stone and you have some like perimeters around it. Yeah. So it's a little bit challenging. It'll probably be a shift for some people, but it's totally doable for anyone. And I want everyone to feel really great at the end of the 28 days. And I think that they will.
I love it. That's so good. And I love how you mentioned it's going to be challenging, because that's one of the things when we talked early that I really wanted it to be this experience that there's a little bit of a challenge to it, but because we're doing it together as a community, there's some camaraderie there and we can spur each other on. It's going to be, there'll be days where we're craving certain things, but to kind of go through this together, I think that on the other side, like you said, we'll feel better, we'll feel fresher, I think, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And two, you kind of as the expert, kind of looking at these 28 days and what can we expect from week to week? I know you've hit on some of it, but maybe walk us through a little bit more about how the format will take place and kind of what to expect walking into this 28-day challenge.
Cool. What I will do is I'll share my screen, and hopefully people don't just start taking screenshots of everything, but I wanted to show you, like, this is actually what it looks like. This is what you're getting. When I sent you the it was for like the announcements, the ad for the announcements. It said that it was like 60 plus pages. It's close to 100.
Wow. So this is an ebook that will come, like, for the participants will get this ebook, and it's over 100 pages. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, almost 100. So once they download it, it's something that they can keep forever. Don't, it'd be helpful for them not to like circulate it to everyone they know, but it is something that they can like refer back to later. Like I talk about nutrition labels, and if they're like, I don't really remember what that said, they can go back to it in 6 months and refer to it. So they download it once, but they can use it over and over again. So this is a little bit about me. And then, so I do show like the program at a glance. So you can see like in week 1, we're going to talk about like mindful eating, how to hydrate, sleep tips, stress tips, how to create more headspace, and exercise. So it'll show you like every single day what's going to be covered, just kind of at a glance. Same thing with program calendar, so you can see like day to day what is covered there. And then at the beginning of each week, I also kind of expound upon that. So I don't just say mindful eating, it's, learning about mindful eating, certain like tips on eating slow, my favorite YouTube channel. So it goes into a little bit more detail so that you're kind of like constantly knowing what's around the corner. Every day, this is something that I love. I really love Jesus Calling. I know we talked about this earlier, but I love that devotional. And no matter what devotional it is, I just think it's really nice to start each day with scripture. So if somebody wants to do their own devotional, that's totally fine. But I put some like scripture in here each day so that you start with scripture, kind of get your mind right and focus. And remember that this is something that is not just like a physical journey, but it's a very spiritual experience as well. So every day starts with scripture, and then it will have like content. So I'll quickly scroll through, but there are some tips on like mindful eating, some highlights that I really love. So some tips on like how to reduce stress levels. There's some apps that you can download to create headspace, so like to create some perimeters around social media. Tips on how to scale back on like sugar intake, the difference between natural and added. There's some really great stuff on nutrition labels, so like how to read a nutrition label and what all of it means, things that you can ignore and things to focus on, as well as like ingredient lists, what to look at. It can get really confusing, so I kind of break it down there. There are lots of like food products listed throughout, so some of my favorite food products. There's also in week 3 it's so long if I can finally get to it.
So excited. What a gift.
So a pantry clean out and a fridge clean out, and then also how to like grocery shop, some tips there. I uploaded like a grocery list if anybody wants to print anything, they don't have to print 100 pages. They can just select certain pages. So maybe they want to print like the grocery list and the nutrition label stuff so that they can bring that with them to the grocery store. Things that I typically eat in a certain week, what your plate should look like, all sorts of good stuff. So there's lots and lots of content. The diet is kind of changing throughout the first 2.5 weeks. And then for the last 10 weeks, certain food items are removed. So things like sugar and alcohol. I actually talk about gluten and dairy, which are really buzzworthy subjects lately, but they can get really confusing. So those things are removed for 10 days, but I explain like why it can be helpful for a short period of time. And then as you reintroduce those things, like what to kind of maybe watch out for, you may have a sensitivity if XYZ. So it kind of walks you through that.
Amazing.
So
wow.
Yeah, there's kind of a lot going on, but that's why I kind of put those constant reminders of like, this is what to expect start to finish. This is what we're doing this week. So it's very organized.
Oh, I can see that. This will be an incredible gift, a gift that will keep on giving, I can imagine. And so I can imagine the people in this program that participate, we have like a week glance where it's kind of looking at the week, and there's certain themes like, taking out sugar, caffeine, alcohol. But then each day, there's a page that we turn to in the morning, maybe first thing, we get that book out, we kind of read the scripture, we get our mind right, and then there's certain goals each day that's kind of connected to the main theme. And then 28 days later, we feel like
great.
Like a reset, man, like a reset. So
yeah, and there's the education piece is so important to me. And throughout the course of this ebook, there's probably 5 to 6 hours of education that like it would take me 5 to 6 hours in appointments with clients to share all of this, but it's things that I talk with clients about, and whether it's me seeing a client one-on-one or in this ebook, like I think the education piece is so important so that when someone finishes the 28 days, they're not like, oh, I feel great, but like what should I add back in, and why do I feel better, like why was it helpful to scale back on caffeine a little bit. So hopefully by the end of the 28 days, people not only feel good, but they can also implement certain aspects of this moving forward so that they continue to feel great. So that is the goal.
Taylor, thank you so much. And you can tell, I've kind of been talking with you, so people can now understand why I've been so excited about this 28-day reset and what a gift this will be to so many of us. So again, this is something that you are invited to participate in. And also, we want this to be for anyone who you know that might love to and would benefit from a program like this. And again, the more the merrier, because there are going to be some tough days. There are going to be some days where we're craving certain foods, and to have that camaraderie, to go through it together as a community, I think it'll really be not only a fun experience, but a transformational experience. So check out our website, check out the Facebook page. We'll continue to talk about it. And also, this is a pretty expensive, 100 pages, 1,000 pages. I mean, this is amazing. I know normally this program will be, it's hundreds of dollars, but because, we're going to offset the cost at the church because of some generous donations, which we're only, this program will be $50 for those, which is a steal. It's a steal for what you're getting. So again, spread the word, tell your neighbors, tell your mom, your mother-in-law, everyone and anyone. We want this to be an experience for as many people as possible because of the gift that it will bring. So Taylor, thank you so much for your time. And we look forward to also walking with you along this journey.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Take care.